A new report by the Movement for Black Lives and the City University of New York Law School finds that the federal government targeted Black Lives Matter protesters for prosecution last year in an attempt to disrupt the movement. BNC's Astrid Martinez has more.
People of color poured into the streets in the months and weeks after Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd, sparking a social justice Black Lives Matter movement.
Anytime a Black-led movement for racial justice gains momentum in the United States, there is a quick backlash on the part of the federal government seeking to disrupt, discourage, and defeat that sort of Black-led organizing for racial justice.
A new report says the government wanted to crack down on activists, a pattern that's been repeated many times in our history. The study says former President Donald Trump and his Attorney General William Barr intentionally targeted Black Lives Matter protesters with harsh prosecutions last summer.
The federal Department of Justice was weaponized by the Attorney General and the President at the time to crack down on this, largely peaceful movement for racial justice.
The Movement for Black Lives, in coordination with Creating Law Enforcement Accountability and Responsibility Clinic, also known as CLEAR, put out this recent study. Ramzi Kassem is the founding director for CLEAR. His group studied 326 criminal cases filed by federal prosecutors in connection with nationwide protests from May 31st to October 25th of 2020.
So what we saw in these cases is that charges were brought that you would expect to see brought under state laws and state courts, if at all. Right, these are mostly property damage related charges. So typically these are charged in state court. Instead, what we saw was the federal government stretching to assert aggressively its federal jurisdiction on really tenuous grounds in order to bring these charges federally, because they almost always carry much heavier penalties on the federal side.
The Movement for Black Lives and CLEAR also point to a difference in how the government handled the COVID-19 mandate protesters amid the pandemic during the same time period.
And so the takeaway, the message that the federal government is trying to send with these cases is a chilling message to activists to try to discourage them. And thankfully, this was unsuccessful and remains unsuccessful, but to try to discourage them from organizing for racial justice for Black folks in the United States.
The findings are of no surprise to Mike Africa Jr.
I mean, when you're talking about government, right? I mean, we've all heard about COINTELPRO, right? And there's probably a whole lot of other counterintelligence programs that are aimed at Black movements and movements, period, to try to stop injustice and change the system or dismantle the one that we have and create our own. So no, it really wasn't surprising at all. It actually makes a lot of sense. I mean, we're going through this kind of stuff constantly.
Africa Jr.'s family founded MOVE in the 70s and are survivors of the 1985 MOVE bombing. During this event, 11 people were killed, including 5 children. 61 homes were destroyed and more than 200 left homeless. This after Philly police dropped the bomb on this community.
There's a reason they're trying to insert these counterintelligence programs in these organizations, right? They're trying to stop people because they don't want the rise of African Americans. They don't want people coming together and working together to build community. They don't want to. They don't like the idea of defunding the police. Why? Because the police protect them from us when we rise up, right? But we're not rising up because we're violent. We're rising up because it's necessary.
I'm Astrid Martinez for Making the Case.
Bringing back my panel of legal experts to discuss the Movement for Black Lives and this report, BNC's legal contributor and veteran prosecutor Paul Henderson and criminal defense attorney and vice president of the Atlanta NAACP Gerald Griggs. All right, Paul, the report by Movement for Black Lives and CUNY Law School found that Black Lives Matter protesters were prosecuted federally for crimes that shouldn't have been prosecuted at all, or done so at the state level where they would have faced much lower sentences, and concluded this was deliberate targeting of the Black Lives Matter movement. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree, and I'm really frustrated with this. I think it's great that we're talking about this, especially at a national level, right when we're in the middle of the pipeline addressing things like the Capitol riots. And we have to be able to articulate and look at clearly and objectively the different standards of treatment when there are gatherings by Black-led movements, and as opposed to the movements and the collections and the riots, rallies, and protests that are not Black-led, like the COVID reactions that we've seen throughout the nation and like we've seen with the Capitol riots. I think this is an abuse of power from the federal level for those past cases. And I'd like to see the Department of Justice shifting, as I believe that they already have under this administration, but we have to call out the inconsistencies to make demands not just at a national level, but at a local level. And you and I both have talked in the past about some of those same inconsistencies at the state level in states like Texas, where protesters are treated differently. I will say, just in closing on this, that there is a way to review those issues at a local level. Here in California and in San Francisco, we have a department general order where those types of protests, those types of rallies are reviewed by an oversight agency in the police commission annually. And those are the best practices. So if you have concerns in your jurisdiction, you can ask for those records to be turned over regularly, to be examined, because we can't fix what we're not talking about, but we can't talk about what we don't know. Questions to look at how all of those gatherings are handled by law enforcement, and then review whether or not we are supportive of their actions. That's the answer, that's the solution, and that's what I'd like to encourage people to take away from this presentation and to take away from this news report that they're seeing about the inconsistencies that have been proven, not just from that report, but by what people know and what they've seen, and they're on their own in their own communities.
Gerald, this report puts the targeting of Black Lives Matter protesters in the context of the long history of surveillance by the federal government of Black liberation movements like COINTELPRO. Is that a fair comparison?
I think it's absolutely a fair comparison. And that's one of the things that many of the protesters were talking about over the last few years. They knew that this was coming. They labeled them Black identity extremists and then targeted them. So they were expecting this. This is to be expected in any type of Black liberation movement, whether it's abolition movement, whether the civil rights movement, and now the Black Lives Matter movement, and of course the Black Power movement. So this was to be expected. I think that we have to call it out. We have to call it out in our remembrance of what's happened in the past, but what's currently happening right now. I agree with Paul. The treatment of individuals last summer as compared to what happened at the Capitol with the Capitol riots and now with the COVID protests is starkly different. And we have to call it out at the federal level. We have to call it out at the state level. We have to call it out at the local level. And we need more organizations calling it what it was, calling it what it is. This is improper. It should never weaponize the federal government against people who are merely calling for liberation and for rights.
Paul, the report makes the comparison between the way COVID lockdown protests were handled and Black Lives Matter protests were handled and calls for an amnesty for all people arrested and charged during the protests. Is amnesty likely?
I don't think it's likely, because I think the same motivation that led to individuals being charged differently are going to be the same individuals that will be evaluating this amnesty, unless the movement has taken place with new votes and the movement taking place with new leadership. These are the same people that are making the decision, and they are not likely to overturn their own decisions. Just like the case when we were talking about in Texas, it's not just the police that made up charges, and it's not just the police that were acting inappropriately. Those bad decisions were affirmed by prosecutors, and that essentially doubled down on the bad judgment about folks that were gathering, sometimes peacefully, but were judged disproportionately because they were Black-led movements, or because they were movements that those local jurisdictions didn't support them, didn't encourage them, and didn't want them to happen. But change is possible. That's what we need to keep focusing on. We only have to force the transparency about how people are being charged, when they're being charged, and be looking at that information like this report did in order to bring that to our elected officials and bring that to our chosen leaders from law enforcement and in prosecution to make sure that they are aware that community is watching it and is demanding better. These are our tax dollars that are paying for these decisions. That's the reminder that we have to bring forward.
Paul, I want to turn now to a case out of Chicago, and a technology used by police departments across the country called ShotSpotter. It's designed to detect gunshots and developed and sold by a private company. Now, it's problematic because, one, it has a high false positive hit rate, meaning it can mistake sounds like fireworks for gunshots, and two, the company that develops and sells ShotSpotter has admitted it alters data at the request of police to fit their narratives of how shootings occurred. In Chicago, they charged a man with murder based on nothing but ShotSpotter evidence that turned out to be faulty, but he sat in jail for a year anyway before they dismissed his charges. Why continue to utilize this controversial technology that's proven to be ineffective?
Well, here's the thing. Technology is just as good as how you use it. And so to the degree that technology could be effective, it's not effective if it's mishandled. And in that case, it sounds like it was mishandled. Part of the problem is with ShotSpotter being able to, or transmuting false information or false reports. That's problem number one, that again, those false reports essentially double down when you use those reports inappropriately and you charge people. That's not a good thing. I do think that the technology could be valuable if it's used objectively and it's not influenced by outside agencies that are using it for their own purposes. For instance, if you are trying to track and measure where shots are coming from, or where there are multiple shots, or where you need to place law enforcement, is a more effective use. But that gets a little dicey, one, when the evidence that they produce is misreported or doctored from the agency using it. And then two, that information is conflated with bad information that isn't parceled out, indicating what the margin of error is, where in the report there, where they said that fireworks sometimes misinform the recording. All of that needs to be summarized, and maybe that's a way to move forward, and maybe that's the decision that needs to be made.
Gerald, ShotSpotter was also implicated in the shooting death of 13-year-old Adam Toledo. Your thoughts on the continued use of this faulty technology?
Well, anytime technology has been shown to have some margin of error, I doubt it very, very strongly. So, I think that we should make sure that we are ensuring that this information is accurate. If it's not accurate, it should not be used in any criminal proceeding, definitely not in trials where you're dealing with aggravated assault or murder, as that being the sole evidence. You still need eyewitness testimony. You still need some type of ballistics or forensics, some type of evidence that corroborates this. And if this type of technology is so faulty that it cannot be corroborated, it does not need to be used. So I have very strong concerns about this, especially when the police can use it to fit their own narrative. The job of the police is not to create a narrative. The job of the police is to investigate a crime and then report their findings to the prosecutor and then charge appropriately, bring that to court, and allow a jury of your peers to hear all of the evidence and then determine the truth, not to fix the evidence to what you believe happened and then charge somebody and have them sitting in jail for a prolonged amount of time. So I'm very skeptical of this type of evidence. I think we should revisit how we even use it in the criminal justice process.
Paul Henderson, Gerald Griggs, thank you so much for spending your Friday night here with us on Making the Case. Thank you. After spending 7.5 years in prison, a man in Chattanooga, Tennessee now spends his time mentoring children from underserved communities. That story next.